everyone, and welcome to this LinkedIn live session. This is the curtain raiser session for the event Edge WW Hire Woman Warrior Edition 5. Edge WW is a virtual job fair which is being organized by M2C exclusively for our women veterans. And this event is being scheduled on 11th March 2025 to celebrate the Women's International Day. So before we go ahead and start this session, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Major Rimple Khanka. I have about 25 years of work experience. Yes, I'm a military veteran too. I served the Indian Army for about 8 years, and this I'm talking about 1998. I got commissioned in the Indian Army. 2006, I decided to hang my uniform and then join the corporate. I joined Bank of America in their HR vertical. Was with the bank for almost about 12 years or so. And now I'm a career coach. Coaching military veterans for their smooth transition is something which is close to me and something which is my passion. And I have the expertise as well. So today we are going to be in conversation with Sunny Makru. To know more about this event, we'll be having a talk with Sunny. So Sunny has co-founded M2C 11 years back. Thanks, Sunny, for joining in today.
Thank you, Rimple. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Great. So, Sunny, we'll request you to kindly introduce yourself and also talk about, genesis of M2C. It's been almost 11 years. How has the journey been for the organization?
Sure. A quick introduction, Rimple, not as illustrious as your introduction, and I'm 100% sure not as illustrious or as close to all of the women veterans who are listening on the other side of this conversation. But a little bit about myself. I come with about 15 years of experience, and a lot of it has been into the entrepreneurship, and therefore military to cop happened 11 years back. With the simple insight that we have world's second largest army, navy, and air force, but we don't make enough noise, deserving noise, when it comes to veteran hiring. Corporates don't know and didn't know 11 years back then what veteran hiring meant, apart from picking up their phone, calling some of their friends who were ex-Army, Navy, Air Force, and telling them, hey, we have a security role, we have an admin role, why don't you just come and join? So the genesis was simple, that there is a huge gap in terms of what corporates need and what corporates think about veteran hiring, and the kind of the skills and the talent and the competencies and the attitudes that veterans have, and how do we just make a simple bridge and have these two communities interact with each other. That happened, you said 11 years back, but 11 years back is when we started talking about military to corporate to the outer world. I think that was the genesis of military to corp. It really started the first 4 years that nobody knows is are the years of misery, because we went out and told people that, hey, have you heard about veteran hiring? Do you know what military women and men can do? But fast forward 15 years, the ecosystem has completely changed, and thanks to all the great work that folks like you, Rimple, and M2C, and the veterans have done in the corporate. So that's a little bit about military corps genesis.
Great. So, Sunny, you have interacted with a lot of organizations, leaders, hiring managers. So, in your view, what are some of the business advantages of hiring, say, women veterans?
Yeah. Look, the honest answer to this is is the question that what are the benefits? First layer is what are the benefits of hiring veterans, irrespective of the gender, right? Because the conversation about veteran hiring was and is still so early that you don't talk about the another layer of diversity on it. So the first layer of diversity is that you military background. So there is, so we had to educate a lot of people. What are the benefits of hiring military people, irrespective of the gender? And then came the another layer on top of it, which is women veterans. So the benefits of hiring veterans, and particularly women veterans, are multifold. One is that you get a highly skilled and technical talent pool, right? Women veterans work in areas right from cybersecurity to IT operations to critical infrastructure operations to critical supply chain management and support roles. Second is the softer skills. Now imagine Rimple, just take yourself maybe 15, maybe 20 years
Mm.
back when you were in your early 20s, right? 22, 23, 24. And you were leading a whole lot of men, right, who came from hinterland background, very different cultural moorings than you. And here you are, a 23-year-old confident girl who is driving them to accomplish a particular task. Now, contrast this with a 23-year-old woman or a girl who's just been in the in the civilian background or with the civilian background or in the corporate sector. Uh, they won't have this kind of an exposure that our women veterans have, right? So that's number two. Number three is a huge experiences, competencies, and skill sets acquired during 10 to 15 to 20 years of military career. I often quip, some of the HR managers, and I tell them, you are in a very unfair situation because all the all the government's exchequered money that has gone into training these women veterans to be the finest leaders, you get them for free. Uh, in a sense that you don't have to spend on their training because they are they are trained and well baked by by an institution that has a history of more than 100 years of training the ordinary people and turning them into extraordinary women and men, right? So look at the ROI of this, right? The return on investments on hiring a woman veteran. So that's the proof of the pudding. They get the job done. They have skills. They are smart, and on top of it, they are like nobody else. There is a higher chance, and I tell this often to people. You have a higher chance of getting into an IIT to do your 4 year engineering, higher chance to get into a med school in India or elsewhere in the world to be a doctor. But your odds of being a woman and then passing out as a woman veteran are the lowest in the world. And this is, we often say this is a diamond, right? But it's the diamond amongst the diamonds that is out, for hire for the corporate sector. So those are some of the benefits of having women veterans.
Absolutely. And I still remember somebody had asked me, what did the military training do to you? And the simple answer I gave was, I was a simple college graduate, but when I came out of the military training, I was a leader. And that's what the training does for me. And what you rightly said, in us, for our selection, we're just 50 of us in India in terms of every batch. It's just two batches. So just 50 women officers are selected, OTA as of now. And of course, NDA just started. So imagine lakhs of people apply for it, but just 50 of them get through to the final selection. That's the selection criteria. Well, coming to this initiative, which is HWW, which is a very unique initiative M2C has, started. So talk about this initiative.
Yeah. So as I said, when we started, the first conversation for the first year was first, in fact, 5 years was that who are veterans, what do they do, what kind of skills and competencies they have. And once fairly, we had saturated that conversations and we had told people and they started listening to us. Then we brought in another layer of a conversation on top of this, which said that, hey, uh, do you know that Army, Navy, and Air Force, Indian military has women officers? And what we started calling it double diversity, because the first level of diversity is that you have these people, wonderful people with the military background, and second level of diversity on top of it is that they are women, right? But what we realized that this needed a special spotlight, right? This needed a special focus and a special conversation that about that. Hey, there are women veterans, and you hire them, and these are the benefits and uh, you know, uh, all those conversational points that I just spoke about briefly. So we decided that if we just continue to do this in a very typical hire women veterans, hire women veterans, hire women veterans, nobody's going to listen to us. So we got to really call out a special program and focus on women veterans. So we started uh, 5 years back. I think this gives me enough pride, and congratulations to all of you. that a Hire Women Veterans program, a Warriors program, is in its fifth year in 2025. We started this, way back in 1920, I think. So the idea was very simple, that we just focus on the women veterans, get all these women veterans in one room, virtual room, and get all the corporates and do a whole lot of activity before the program, right? Before the Hire Women Warrior program, send them talking points, send them some data around women veterans, and then everybody kind of comes into a room, shake hands, and let the conversation happen organically.
Mhm.
So High Women Warriors became such a platform. It's in its fifth year, and year on year, it has grown more than 100% in terms of the people who come, both from a supply and demand side. So we have more women veterans participating in the job fair, so to speak, and more corporates coming in, and more job offers getting closed at the end of the day, or a conversation that gets sparked there. So it's especially a spotlight program for women veterans, for corporates who want to explore this and shake hands and then build the future together.
Great, great initiative. Well, coming to the point about some myths, there's a myth that military talent pool is, can be hired only in admin and security, and that's what when I was looking for opportunities, and most of the jobs I was being offered was admin and security, and that's what we have seen today. And of course, there is a paradigm shift as of now. But so tell us about, since your M2C has helped a lot of women veterans also getting placed in different domains. So, which are some of the domains where you see this talent flourishing as well?
Yeah. Uh, I think this was a prominent problem that we wanted to tackle, and hence came the platform, HWW. Uh, for two reasons. One, we wanted to spotlight the talent, and second, we also wanted to have a conversation at a much deeper level to
Mhm.
talk about the competencies, the skills, and the experiences that women veterans have, and really kill some of these myths. Uh, and I always say, right, you just have Bollywood to blame for these myths, because there's always a woman or a man who's guarding a border, and everybody thinks, all the military forces do
Oh,
is they have they have these cool guns and
yeah.
ammunition, and they just kind of blast everybody who casts any evil eye on our borders, and rightly so. But what we tell them is that military is a parallel institution, to the rest of the civilian world, in the sense that everything that we have on the corporate sector of the things, every job that we have, every kind of the competent people that we have on this side, you got to have the same people on the other side, because you're running an institution, right? You're running a self propelling alternate engine, in a sense, right? So therefore, you have engineers, you have administrators, you have technical folks, and much more support services also, right? So today, the proof of pudding is in its tasting, Rimple, and through you, I'll tell your audience, 75 more than 75% of the jobs that we close today in HWW are jobs which are beyond security and admin. More than 70% of the jobs overall in military, in veteran hiring, that we close today in military to corp, and the team gives me this data on a regular basis, are beyond security and admin. We have placed people, and I'll specifically talk about women veterans, in roles around program management office, PMO, in cybersecurity, in IT critical infrastructure maintenance and operations, in supply chain management across first mile, mid mile, last mile, telecom infrastructure management, and and multiple support services as well. So 75% of the jobs that that are on offer or get closed via military to cop are non-security and non-admin roles, and that's the kind of fostering and catalyst that M2C in general and Higher Women Warriors in particular has been.
Great, absolutely. And so, Sunny, coming to another question is that, M2C has been helping a lot of organization run the veteran hiring program. So can you briefly talk about if an organization is interested in hiring this talent, how do they go about?
I think there are two ways to do this. All right. One is that you come across on a platform like Hire Women Warriors, engage yourself with us through this platform, and you get exposed almost 60 to 70% of annual talent women talent that is coming out of the forces. So this is one stop shop. You won't have a bigger talent platform to hire women veterans in the country today. So that's one. But we also understand that this could be very event based, right? You may have ongoing because HR works, it doesn't work because there's a hire women veteran program. It works throughout the year, and you have positions to fill, and you can always engage with military to cop, not just to do a simple that, hey, here's the job description, get me the talent. That's not how military to cop works. It's a very consultative based organization. So what they would do is that if you're a company, and if, for example, I work for a company, right? If I'm looking to hire a woman veteran, what I would do is I'll engage with military to cop, and I'll tell them that, hey, this is my company, this is what we do, this is how our org structure looks like. Can you tell me where all I can absorb women veterans or veterans in general? So they'll create a complete heat map of what are the super fits, some fits, and not at all fits where you should hire veterans, right? So once you have that heat map, then they'll go and double click on those. For example, you may be an operations company where supply chain is the core of your company. So within that, they will create a curated program for your hiring managers as well as recruiters, that how to sift through a CV, a military
Hmm.
veteran CV, because it's very different from a CV of a person who's always been in the
Correct.
corporate.
Correct.
The language is different, the vocabulary is different, right? So somebody needs to kind of orchestrate and normalize, if you will, that vocabulary. So that sort of pre-hire work and training work will happen so that corporates can hire the right talent and understand the pulse of this talent. Then you hire a military corporate supports you and handholds you. And then once you have hired a bunch of people, right, their acclimatization and immersion programs are being run just to ensure that they have all the tools that they require to be successful in your company. And those tools are often very curated, very customized, very bespoke, because every company is different. They're hiring different kind of people, and and the talent retention is important. So they work across the talent attraction, talent retention, as well as talent engagement, and that's how companies can engage.
I think today we are coming to the end of this session, Sunny. Thank you so much for joining in today. So, Sunny has shared a lot of details about HWW, why this initiative was, and what, of course, the women veterans can benefit from this particular event. And of course, companies, and I'll request all the companies to definitely come forward. And because this is just one of a kind of event which is happening in India for you, and please do participate. And for all the women veterans, please do register for this event. We'll be having other sessions as well, which will definitely give you more insight about this particular program and also help you prepare for that particular event. So with that, thank you so much, Sunny, for joining in today. And thank you, audience, for watching us live. Keep a check on the page, M2C page, and you will find that there are going to be more events like this, which will be actually prelude to the event HWW. 11th March, mark the date. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sunny.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.